Do I have chat? That's good enough. What else do I need? Chat. What was I doing? So last time I was working on this, do I still have my audio? Okay, that looks fine. Last time I was doing this. Welcome in, Anna. Thank you for the coin compass. I apologize, it's gonna be all kinds of disjointed. But welcome in, Anna. I hope your night's going well. Oh no. Autocorrect, I'm gonna throw hands, dude. I swear to God, if autocorrect isn't ending me, I'm making like the dumbest mistakes. Earlier, I called someone a golden shepherd, not golden retriever. But enjoy. Okay, so I need to remember last night, the idea that my friend has come up with is he wants to make a plate rolling down a hill. And right now, I'm trying to do something that I probably don't need to worry about. I'm trying to add a dynamic hill angle, but I'm trying to use math to figure out where I need to spawn the next tile. And I have not yet figured that out because math is hard. Also, I hope you're doing well. I haven't seen you streaming as much, Anna. Hopefully life is going okay. I know you had a lot going on earlier. It's adding to spotted. Dog spotting. Oh, you know what? I auto read it correctly, so that's all that matters. I always think it's kind of funny because, like, I feel like the human mindset tries to auto correct things, and so there's a lot of times someone will say something and you'll read it correctly even with a typo, assuming it's not just like super wrong. Sometimes it's just confusing. Homie, it's been too long. I need a better way to get chat. Right now, my chat is like far, far away. You might notice me looking far away to read. The homie has been too long. Finally moved to a better place, and I can be more active. That's really awesome to hear, Compass. I hope that that makes your life a lot easier. My health has been kinda chaotic as of the lake. Do you want me asking what's going on? You also don't have to share because I know it's on the internet, so if you want privacy, I understand. I also apologize. I'm getting over a cold still, and so I have to clear my throat every like 3 seconds. I'm trying to mute myself so that I don't. But that is something that I'm trying to counteract. Luckily, most of me is fine. It's just like I'm in like that last little bit of the cold where I worry about like runny nose and stuff, and it's just annoying. And my voice is not quite there. Although I got my microphone closer to my face finally after doing my desk change. So like at least I got that going for me. Let me do some quick let me actually Google real quick. How do I eject UE5? There's a command, F8. There's a command where I think I go like this, I can F8, and I can go into a different mode. There we go. So my understanding is I did the math to know where the next road needs to be, and it looks very correct for the vertical side. But for the horizontal side, it's wrong because I'm rotating the plane, and the plane doesn't line up completely. Like, theoretically, if the point was correct and it was at the edge, I think this would line up perfectly. So we gotta figure that out. Also, the next tiles aren't moving in the correct place. I don't know why that's happening. It's probably something really stupid. And that's how all programming goes. Your cat friend is kind of clumsy and gravity has hands. Oh no. Wait. Oh no, did you fall and like hurt yourself or something? Don't tell me you had to put the Christmas tree away. Ah, thank you for the head pets, Rupee. I appreciate it. I have been absolutely dying over the last little bit. I I have to say, like I've been okay. So I had my parent in laws come over, and then I got sick, and then after getting sick, I've just like been antisocial. I've just become a hermit. I did plant stuff though. I went outside. I touched grass. Oh, I touched fake grass. We have fake grass. I didn't put it there. What happened? Wait, with what specifically? Um, it'll be better, but it just got over pneumonia. Oh, that's brutal. And then I moved less than a week after, almost fully recovering. But new place is nicer. Roomies have nice doggo. Oh, I heckin' love doggos. And I got an AC finally. You have been living without an AC? Do you live in a place of the country? Wait, is there anywhere in the country that doesn't get hot? How do you exist without air conditioning? That sounds so incredibly difficult. I had my room and it was a little too toasty and I was like crying like a baby about it just constantly. It was like 80 in my room and I'm like, this is awful. I don't want to be here anymore. But I got a new air conditioner and now my room is has been capping at like 74, 75, and that is much more doable. Today it was like 82 outside. I didn't even realize it was hot outside, so that's a good sign. Happy news! I programmed my mix-up to get special conditions when a random number hits a certain, or when a random number hits a certain number, it'll display a special message. Oh, that's super sick. When you say special, because I know you had that redeem for like the vibe check. What is you talking like? There was extra little bits and pieces to it. You should explain. Oh, just in general, you explained it. Oh, heck yeah! I love when I go on a tangent, and I explain things that answer questions as needed. I feel like I can feel myself losing my voice, which feels weird because I feel like I've talked a decent amount over the last week. No, but I'm looking for new knees. No Christmas tree wrestling has occurred yet, but I'm always in training. Oh heck yeah. You gotta put that Christmas tree in its place, and that's the attic. Oh God, I swear. I feel like Christmas trees are like a necessary evil. I feel like, okay, I don't know if I'm the only one here. I feel like Christmas decorations are so nice. They're so like uplifting. Like you walk into the room with your Christmas decorations and it just lifts your spirits. Even like the little cute little Christmas lights. But when it comes to like January and you really need to put it all away, it's just like the worst thing. It feels like the lowest priority thing that you want to do. And it just feels so annoying. I understand the people that leave their Christmas lights up. I actually put RGB lights on my house and then I just changed the coloring as we've gone into Valentine's Day so that it looked thematically appropriate while I was being lazy. Modern problems call for modern solutions. Living without AC is a struggle bus, and I was struggling before, dude. That sounds brutal. I'm glad that you found a new place. I'm glad you found new puppies. Having an animal in the house is just like so nice. I don't know what it is. It's just like emotional support. I know you don't have to have an emotional support animal, but like having another creature is just like reassuring. I never really thought it would be that way either. Stay hydrated. I will try and stay hydrated. The only issue is my microphone is right next to my water, and I'm really worried I'm gonna pick it up without thinking and just bop the microphone. You're just gonna hear loud noises. I haven't fully ironed out where I plan to keep my microphone, but I think it's in a pretty good spot. And ironically, I think it's the closest to my mouth it's ever been. Because before it was above my head, but it blocked my view of my left monitor a little bit. And now it's like right in front of me. I could honestly, no shaming me. I'm dying right now. Let me bring up my camera. Oh, my camera's not plugged in. Nope, you guys don't get to see it. You have to imagine it. Okay, so imagine I have my keyboard in front of me and it's right above my keyboard, but off to the left a little bit. And it's my left, not your left. My daily check-in is a number generator from 1 to 100, so it's a special message for 100 and a few other notable funny numbers. I think I know what kind of other notable funny numbers there are. Did you ever give like a... Did you ever get like a... Like, could you variable the message so that when you get like above a certain ratio, like you say you have a value between like 1 and 68, for example... do you have like a different messages, or do you just like make a ton of messages and just make a ton of numbers, like 1 through, or sorry, like 2 through 9 and 10 through 19 and so on and so forth? January, mine was up till Easter. Oh hell yeah. Christmas. Okay, so stay with me. Listen, hear me out on this. What if instead of putting away the Christmas decorations, we embrace modern stores? You know how stores like to take out their Christmas decorations in like mid-July? What if we just leave ours up year round? And then if someone asks, you're just prepared for next year. Like, is that too bad? I hope no one can tell I like to procrastinate. Imagine dog chewing a mic. Oh my god. There was a TikTok that was just like, they were like a vet or like a pound or something, and they'd like held a little microphone up to animals and they would either smell it or they would try to eat it, and you just hear them eating it. And that just like gave me flashbacks. I only moved yesterday and Rumi's doggos already just cuddle me. Best way to distress doggo cuddles. I totally agree. My partner had a service animal, and it was the funniest thing ever. When I first met her and I first came over to her house, I have a way with dogs. Dogs love me. There is a very few amount of dogs that don't like me, and you can classify them all as Chihuahua and small breeds. However, so I'm meeting my wife for the first time, and I go into her room, and her dog, I kid you not, was glued to my side. Her dog fell in love with me and would not leave me even when she called, and it actually like upset her a little bit. Dogs love me. I don't know what it is. A roomy Christmas tree? Oh my gosh, that sounds adorable. I just have like a giant 6-foot plastic tree. And then I put the off-white lights on them, like the little yellowish lights, because I think they look really cool. I really like the soft colored light look from like really, really old Christmas lights. And so I try to imitate those. Like I got RGB lights and I purposely picked some that had a dedicated white LED inside of them. And it was a warm white LED so that I could run it really dim and it looked like the old time white LED or the white Christmas lights that are like really, really yellow. Because I just think that looks amazing. And then there's also like you get the colors on them, but I just ran them really dim so they looked antique. There's a wait. There's a few people that programmed a D20 for funny, chaotic messages. Dude, imagine you made a roll for the people, and then every once in a while you just screw with them. Like, you make it roll a number, and then you just have it like send a second message that's like, ha, just kidding, it's actually this. But I'm excited to see it. I've not been on people's streams much lately either. I have been disconnected. I spent the entire, not last weekend, but the weekend before off my computer. It was a weird change of pace. For someone who lives on their computer, it just like, it felt wrong. Yeah, I switched to warm tone lights this past year. So much better. Oh my gosh, I totally agree. They just look so nice. Just that faint yellow light. It's just so cozy. I don't know. I'm a man that likes simple things, and one of those simple things is RGB lights. Or just lighting in general. Which is kind of bad because I built my computer case and it was just a solid brick of glass. And it is, I hate it. I've gone through so many, I've gone through this once before. Where I fall in love with something, and I build a computer around some design, and then I look at it like 2 years later and I question my sanity. It's like regretting a relationship. I wake up and I'm like, I wish I never purchased that case. So I have this like RGB solid glass case, and every day I look at it and I'm like, what if it wasn't? What if it wasn't just a brick? What if it was smaller? I need to work on soft lighting around the whole house. Dude, I heard that you can get like, I heard that corner lights, like lamps, could look really good, and I really wanted to get like that. I don't know if you've seen like the lights that are like Japanese paper covered, where they have like the little expanding paper thing. I don't know how to describe that. I was gonna get like these IKEA desk floor lights, whatever they're called, and I was gonna put them in the corners of the room, and then I was gonna make them controllable because I've heard that having like indirect lighting looks amazing, and there's people that swear off room lighting that comes from the roof, and that they say it looks awful and it's terrible and it's horrible, and I just never did it. We're back to Christmas. I just I just never got around to it, time is tough. uh but one day I'll do it. Right now I'm sitting in a dark room with a light pointed at my face, and I have light diffusing blinds behind me so that my neighbors who have a window that lines up perfectly with both my office and my walk-in closet, so every morning when I'm getting dressed, they could stare directly into my soul while I put on my underwear. Um I had to put up privacy curtains. But I found some that were really nice, and they were electronic, so they're all automated. I don't think you understand. There was a solid month at my house where when I first moved in, none of the curtains and blinds worked. So every single morning, I had to step into my closet and I had to look deep into my neighbor's house. And that window never has a curtain in it for some reason in the neighbor's side. So I knew that all it took was a little bit of bad timing, and I was just on full display. Um, but yeah, now I have curtains. I have these little like motorized curtains, and at nighttime they're little blackout curtains. They're called day-night curtains. Blinds, one of the two. Day-night blinds, and then so at night they're blackout, and then in the morning when it's time for me to wake up, my window switched to a light filter, so my room gets bright. I am so incredibly happy to not have to deal with a landlord. Unfortunately, I'm completely exhausted still. I think I'm gonna fall asleep. I hope you have a great stream. Thanks for stopping by, Compass. I'm glad to hear that you're doing better. I'm glad to hear you recovered from a pneumonia. And I hope life is better for you now that you've tasted freedom. Big lights everywhere, but I'm bad at decorating. Oh my god, same. Me and you, we could both decorate and we could both do it terribly. Doesn't that sound amazing? I have I have the room design skills of an infant with a pack of crayons. It's truly a miracle that my desk turned out to look pretty okay because I kind of winged every element of it and it kind of just worked. That's kind of how my life goes, though. I feel like I can wing it with just enough effort and it just kind of works. And that seems to be good enough. Oh yeah, those are cute, dude. I absolutely love the curtains. They are the absolute best. And then I learned that all of my windows have like a 15-degree. Oh, well, how would I describe that? They're like 50 to 15 degrees off. So like think of like a trapezoid or like a, how do I describe this? The window sills aren't flat. So I bought curtains, blinds for some other windows and I measured them. I measured them in like 12 places and I got the blinds and they didn't fit the window. And then I measured again and found out that if I measured against the window glass, I got one measurement. And if I measured at the inside of the window towards the room, I got a completely different window. And I could reproduce both sets of measurements. So, like, it wasn't a problem with measuring. So, that was a learning experience. And now I have a couple of blinds that I cannot open and close easily. However, I'll fix that eventually, probably. Yeah, sills are installed slightly slanted. I didn't know that. You should have been a Rupee. You should have been around like 14 months ago. You could have been a lifesaver. However, somehow the math worked out, and my bedroom windows are perfect. My curtains are just close enough. They block like 99% of light when they're in blackout mode, and the room is pitch dark. And it is a wonderful thing. Truly magic to see my pitch dark room go to light in the morning. Welcome in, Mazda. I hope you're doing well. Ah, thank you for the head pets. My light is disconnected. I'll have to be on the lookout. Yeah. Okay, let's see if we can fix this. So right now, back to what we're doing. So first things first, I did some math. I gotta eject. There we go. I did some math, and so theoretically, knowing the angle and the size, we know the correct height that this should be. However, we go to the next one, we see this is not correct. I need to figure out why this is applying to the first one, but not the second one. Wait, no, it is kind of applying. I don't understand what's happening. Something is wrong here. So let's take a look at our math. And you're welcome. Enjoy the emotes. Wait, you learned that today? Wait, did you just Google it when I mentioned it? I was watching a YouTube video and someone mentioned that house windows are installed with that slant. And I really wish that when I was shopping for these blinds and they had a guide that explained how to measure your window, they would explain that that's standard and that I should account for it. Because I didn't. Is this game going to feature a mushroom? Like a mushroom? I could put a mushroom in it. You know what? Check this out. We're gonna make some art skills. Game mode? No. Materials, mechanics. Level. We're gonna make. Oops. We're gonna rename him because I did this, and he's going to be an actor, and he's going to be called BP underscore mushroom. I will make a mushroom, and I will put him in the game. We're gonna put a cylinder in. What is a mushroom? And then we get like a sphere, right? Maybe it probably needs to be a little round. I make this a little bigger. I have like a, we got something. We're working. We're making this work. We gotta. Not sure I'm feeling about this. It's kind of like a bell, like the little button mushroom. Wait a minute. No, I legit just had a guy start showing up on my feed explaining how houses are built. You're welcome, Rupee. That's because of me. They're always listening, and they heard me talk about it, and they knew you were going to be interested in it. How do I make a mushroom? Can I cut a sphere in half? I don't think there's like an easy way to do this. That's a mushroom-esque. There you go. Put him right here. Let's also do something. Let's take this, and we're just gonna move him up. Is there like a quick plant to the ground? There we go. There you go. There's your mushroom. Is it slightly phallic? Yes, but he's there. Okay, so back to what we're doing. We need to figure out why this isn't working. So right now, our math is that we take our slope of our first thing, and then we take our slope of our next thing, which we have to generate, and then we add them together, and then we multiply that by the scale. We get a half scale because we're measuring squares, and we want half the square. And then we had this to negativize it, but I didn't actually put a negative in it, so now he's just there. He's a remnant of the past, and I could remove him, but I feel like it does him a disservice, because he did help me at some point, so he gets to stick around. Okay, I'm actually kind of baffled why this isn't working. Okay, so we have our location Z. How are we determining how to bring it down? So the first one, wait a minute. Okay, I think I understand. Our location Z needs to be referencing our last location. I think that's what's happening. So we have so much happening right here. This is just a gigantic mess. So what I think needs to happen is I think each one is technically... Wait, did it? 1 second. Are they different? Only the first one's different, right? This one looks the same. It just looks like the second one. Okay, well maybe that's a me problem. So right now this gives us the distance we need to put it down, but we're not accounting for the relative location of the previous chunk. Sorry, chunks are, I'm treating this like an infinite runner game, and so the map is spawned in chunks. So what needs to happen is we need to find a way to put in the previous height. So let's take a look. We're putting in a relative transform. I'm just trying to think. How does this... Can we do a world transform? Wait 1 second. So there's like weird differences when measuring things in a game engine. There's something called a world transform and a relative transform, because within everything, things are relative to each other. And the only like true authority is like the world is its own set of measurements, and then you put something inside that world, and so it has a world location, and then anything in that thing that you've placed, let's say you place an actor and you give it like a gun. Now that gun is going to be relative to the actor, and so that becomes a relative transform. So the question is, if we're adding this transform, which I should probably make this more random. So let me do something real quick. I think I want to double check that I'm doing this math right before we try and fix it. And basically the idea is I want to use some noise. Oops. I want to use some noise. Level spawn seed. I want to use some noise, Perlin noise, to generate the tiles because Perlin noise has a very natural flow to it where it's not a random noise like a TV static. Perlin noise is like a subtle change, and so by using it, I can make the road move less dynamically. Where like a random noise, I might have like a road here, and then like here, and then like here, and then here, and then here. With Perlin noise, every change should be somewhat connected and related to the last one. And so that's kind of the point of using the Perlin noise, although I never actually figured out the seed on this. And so I suspect that the seed that I've used is too subtle and I'm just not seeing the difference. So we're gonna go like that. It still looks very similar. We're gonna do something where we're just gonna let it pick very high numbers. And see if maybe it's a subtlety issue. Thank you for the stream streak, Masa. So I apologize if I don't see the stream. I'm like, I gotta lock in. So it's gonna be maybe 0 to like 90. We want this to be as extreme as possible. 0, 90. So put that in here. Eject again. Okay, so something is very wrong. Because it has picked the maximum number every time. Okay. So that answers part of this. So why is our Perlin noise not changing? Because, oh, I understand now. The Perlin noise is 0 to 1, and I think I did -1 to 0, so we've cut half the value possibilities off. And so there was just a 50% chance it was wrong. That should be closer, and now if we go back and we give this like a -90 as a maximum. Now, do we get things looking normal? I can't tell. Those look pretty similar. What if we just go harder? Maybe I'm just too subtle. Current chunk should increment. Every time we make a tile, this should change by 1. Maybe I need to give it like a smaller value. Maybe the whole number changes bad. God, I really can't tell. It's looking really subtle. Let's print it. Are we getting a different value ever? Okay, we are getting different values. Okay. Why does it feel like the values are so similar? So we did fix a bug. 14, yeah. See, okay, so we are getting values. Cool. That's good enough. So, okay, so next question. How do we get a relative value for the next one? And honestly, I technically probably don't have to do this. I just think it might be nice. Is technically I could just make it a flat hill and it'd probably be more than like good enough. So what if? What if we just do this the dumb way? I know that our first location. Okay, so this relative transform, I understand now. Relative transform is related to the original actor, which means everyone after this needs to be increased by this amount. So what I'm going to do, we're going to make an offset and we're just going to add it every single time we spawn a chunk. So let's make a thingy and we're going to call this chunk z offset and we're going to make it the right type. Okay, and so here's my thought. When we run this math, we are going to take our chunk Z offset. We're going to add the other offset into here. And we're going to save it. Then we're going to put that into here. And so what that should do is that our first chunk, it should be correct. And then every chunk after that should also be correct. Look at that. That looks good enough. We have it. Is that lined up? That's not lined up. Why is that not lined up? Wait 1 second. Did our math wrong? The first tile. This is wrong by a lot. Why is this wrong by a lot and the rest are wrong by just a little? Okay. How did we manage this? Why did my show stop? Did I run out of episodes? Wait 1 second. Let's watch airplane crashes. Okay. So, why is our first chunk messed up? Because theoretically, when we start this, our z offset's 0. So it should be correct. Do we have any special value that we're accounting for that we're not doing properly? Okay, so we got our last slope, and we get our new slope. We calculate how far that needs to be. We then figure out how that relates to the size of the cube. And then that goes into here. And so theoretically, if we do nothing, the first one should be correct. And then the second one does. And we look here, we can see that like as that fades out, we're like at the bottom of the other one. That looks correct. I just need to extend them outward, but that's a math problem that we'll figure out in a second. So, what happened here? Oh, I took it. We're gonna take our chunksy offset, and we're gonna put him here. And we save it. Checked again. That still looks correct. Did I do something weird? This one it feels off by maybe. No, that's probably pretty close. Okay. I think that's good. I think that works. Okay. So here's the problem now, is that we need to extend the length of this just a little bit to fit the corners, and I don't know that there's going to be an easy way to do that. We're gonna do we note this? No. This. Everything else is correct, right? Yeah, it looks good. Okay. We don't need that. The, God, I don't want to do this. So what I think I'm going to have to do I think I'm gonna have to use math to determine how long this has to be to fit this space. And then when I determine how long that has to be to fit that space, I then have to modify our calculation because it will be wrong to align them again because we're accounting that these are this exact size. And if we make them a different size, they no longer fit. Hmm. So let's take a quick peek at our tile. If we were to add, let's say, a slope, I need like a second value that is for the length. And so my understanding is that if I take this plane and I take, what dimension is that? Our X, I scale it just a little bit, we can adapt it. We adapt our, oh god, but it's a ratio. Oh, that's awful. I just realized because it's 100%. So it's not like I need an extra inch. It's like I need 16%. Um, hmm. God, I feel like this is like early geometry. So when we add slope, what would that turn out to be? I'm trying to remember. I think that would be, we take the cosine of it, maybe? Yeah. What is the thingy? SOHCAHTOA? TOA. What value are we trying to figure out here? Cosine. So we know, we know the scale. Let's see. Welcome in, Nox. Thanks for the head pets. I hope you're doing okay. Let's do some eyeball math. This thing needs to be about there. That looks about right. God, math. It's been a while. God, I hope it still remembers me. Okay. So, SOHCAHTOA, I think this is cosine. We're going to take our slope and our scale. And our scale, we need to get that into units. So 25 is 25 times 100. And that should be our units in scale, like inches basically. And then we have our slope, which, what did I say? Did I say cosine? Cosine degrees? And then I can just multiply it? What's the chance? The only issue with putting this here is that I cannot see what it actually is going to say. So we'll put it here, and then we're going to print it. And we're going to do what every good game developer should do, and you print it every single tick so that it has to run this every single frame. That's proper game development. You should always make all of your logic run all the time so the computer gets to panic. What's the math? So that tells us distance. Balls. How do we? Okay. it's wrong. Wait a minute. I messed it up. Wait, did I mess it up? What happened? Oh god, we're gonna cheat. We're gonna do a little thing called we're gonna ask someone else how this works. Okay, so we know the scale. I want to slant the road. But when we slant it, it doesn't align. Okay, let's see. Am I overthinking things? Level chunk. Yeah, there we go. So this tells us degrees to radians. Okay, so we take our degree. Degree to radians. Wait a minute. And that's our rad. And then we take a cosine of that. And I'm assuming this is radians. Because we just created radians. And then we take our scale x. Wait, flat scale x? Is that like a width unit calculated in flat scale? It's probably this. Divided by? Because we're trying to get a number over 1. Yeah, we take that. We put it into here. What number comes out? 25? Wait a minute. There's a lot of numbers that just came out because I realized that every single tile spawning is causing the same thing to happen. Let's get rid of that for a second. 25, 385,665. That is not a number that I need. 1 second. What would... Why is this video messed up? You know, let's watch something else. I also have Iron Lung. Don't know that I should watch Iron Lung on here, though. So... degrees to radian. Our slope in degrees. Take our cosine with the radians. We divide scale x divided by... what if our scale x is 1? Because the scale for this tile is 1. 1.1, wait a minute. That number looks really close. Okay, so here's the thought. I should not apply this every tick. Let's do the math. Let's go into here and we'll put it plain set. Can I set scale? The relative scale? I think relative scale is what we want, right? And then we split this. And the scale, these will all stay at 1. Put this here. Then we take this off because we don't want to run this every frame. And we plug this back in. We save everything. And we look at this. Oh my god, look at that. That's perfect. I don't remember learning radians in school, so I feel better about cheating. So that's great. That's exactly the result we'd expect because we're accounting for the previous length. Because it is now longer, the endpoints do not align. Fuck, how do we... God, now I gotta figure out the math on the other half of this. What if I just tell my friend I can't make the game? Something came up. I left my oven on. Okay, so we have our scale. God, then okay, we take our scale. Oh my god, that's gonna be gross. I gotta get. No, we already have a reference. Get child component plain. God, this is awful already. And then from the plane, we get scale, get relative, get relative transform could work. Scale 3D. We split that. We now know we need the X value. We take this, and because it's a relative value, we flat multiply it into the other value. And then when we do this, it's not even going to work because I used a reference that I shouldn't have, and now I have to fix that too. Rip your friend. This is... Why do people program? This is an awful experience. Okay, so... Oh my god, okay. Oh, it's gonna look nice. I really like it. My partner sometimes looks at this and is like, wow, it looks like spaghetti. And that's because it just looks like spaghetti. Okay, so we take our chunk array. This now needs to be bigger because now we have this monstrosity. We put the monstrosity in. We take our relative X value. Do we... I could do the math in operations and stuff, and I could figure out order of operation, or we just put that into there and it'll go in the correct order. Okay, so now we've got that value. This needs to go wherever that one's going, so we're gonna put him here. And so that should fix the first tile. Now I need to fix this value. And I think the best way to do this is probably I could copy this take and put it over here, or we break Unreal Engine and it crashes. Wait, one. Oh no, we're still good. Okay, I thought it crashed. Take our length. We subtract 1 because the rays start at 0. We put that into here. And then, God, this looks amazing. Wow, I love this. I should... Some days I kind of wish I did C++ like programming in this engine, and some days I try C++ programming and I realize all the other awful things that come with it. Yeah. So, crossing my fingers, we now know the length of each tile, and we're accounting for the tiny little bits of scale that we have now added to make sure everything aligns properly. We run this and we pray. God damn it, it's not looking right. Okay, what do we do? Where did this go wrong? We have our units. Fine. None of this is accounting for scale. So it should be okay, right? This should be correct, right? Okay, let's do a print. We need to make sure that when we are getting this value, that this is the value we expect, and that should be like the 1 point something. It says 1. Okay, we don't have the right value. Why do we not have the right value? So when we change the scope, we're taking relative scale 3D of our plane. Relative scale, and it is our X value, right? Yeah, it's our X value. Child index, get child component, plane, get scale. Can I just... I don't know that world scale will work, but let's see if we just... What value does this give us? Split? 25 point... Okay, so we're getting the scale of the whole thing. We don't want that. Plane... Hit scale. Split. Take X. Okay, that's our value. I don't know where this came from. This is what we needed. It's still not looking correct, though. It looks so close, yet so far. This is the right value, right? 1 point. I need to... We're gonna go back to spawning 1. On 1.15. Actually, let's write that down. We're gonna test this. Is this the value that is correct? So this is 1.015427. Now, put that back. And then we go into here. We go to our plane. And we give it. That's not right. Wait a minute. What number did this generate? I reconnected it. It's the same number. 1.15. Why does it feel like it is aligning? Fate. It looks correct. That looks like the correct amount of length. The question then becomes, what is wrong with our height spawning that does not like this? Not using that. Let's clean that up so it looks better. And everything else... Wait a minute. I'm using a half scale. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Okay. What we gotta do... We have to double it. Because... Wait, no? Maybe? What's wrong here? Wait a minute. Something's very wrong here. We need to double the small number. Oh crap. I don't want to do this. So we're using a half scale here. And because we're using half scale, it's not accounting properly. Oh god. What have I done to myself? Um the scale always has to be above. It always has to be above 1, I think. Yes. So, we take this and subtract it by 1. What happens? Oh, look at that. There's a seam there, but I don't know if I care. That's pretty good. Look at that. Oh my god. Is that a math problem that I don't want to fix? It's kind of looking like it. Okay. So, oh shit, that looks very wrong. Wait a minute. No. Everything looks so promising. What happened? Okay, so we have our first tile. Looks pretty solid. Second tile, less solid. Why? What am I doing? I feel like I just need to throw this all away and just do it again. I've made this too complicated. This looks stupid, but this is correct. This is all working exactly as intended. Um, oops. Comment. There's going to be chunk x spacing. Hello, what is this? Welcome in, Jazz. We are making a game about a plate rolling down a hill, and I decided to do something that I probably shouldn't. And I was gonna procedurally generate the level and make the angle of the road procedural, and it's the math is complicated. This is the most complicated math I've done in a very long time, and I'm regretting it. Philosophical. Oh my god. Yeah, honestly, it's like I question my sanity sometimes. I feel like any great programmer has questioned their sanity at least once. So why does this not work? This was working totally fine. And there's no difference in the math between chunks, right? Every chunk is taking the same math. Why? Why is it different? If 1 equals 1, why doesn't 2 equal 2? Current chunk, what are we doing? What is wrong? Must be something like cluster rush. I've never heard of cluster rush. Let me Google it. Imagine images. Oh, this is the game made by those one people that I think they've made a fairly popular game. Or is this a mobile version of a different game? Honestly, the idea isn't super far off. The idea was specifically that you're a plate rolling downhill. So here's the pitch I got. Here's my elevator pitch to the game being explained to me. You were at a moving truck and you fell out of the moving truck, and there was some talk on if there was going to be a story about an uprising inside of this moving truck and you being evicted by other plates, but that's besides the point. You fall out of the moving truck, and the point of the game is to make it to the bottom of the hill so you can get back into the moving truck without breaking. So, that's kind of the logic that we're going on right now. And then I need to make a game that functions. So we gotta make a proof of concept. Should I have done dynamic level generation as the first step? Probably not. However, I'm allowed to make my own bad decisions. I'm an adult. Road raging game where you jump on semi trucks. I've seen someone play it. I used to babysit, and the kid I babysat, I think played a game very similar to that. So, in this circumstance, taking a relative scale. What if I relative scale multiply? 1 point. Okay, so here's the idea. What if? What if? We get rid of this. We do this the old-fashioned way. We take our relative scale and we just multiply. I want this on the top. 0.5. It's gonna be a 100. This is gonna be our scale. This is gonna be our relative scale. So here's my idea. This value is between 1 and 2. We multiply directly the scale. That fixes all of our problems. Everything works again, and we don't cry ourselves to sleep tonight. Why is everything wrong but right? Wait a minute. Why? What happened? What? Why is the first one wrong? Okay, so the first one's wrong, but like the next ones are so close. What happened? I mean, it seems better. Okay, so EP chunk. We don't need to do that anymore. So we do this. When we create this, when we set our rotation, we set our scale. Is there a problem with the values that are being passed? So we're gonna do something. We're gonna make an append. Oops. We're gonna do a little bit of brute forcing this. 30 seconds on our message. We'll give it another pin. And so here's my thought. We figure out the value that we're looking at, which is this, the tile specifically. Then, I actually don't even know if it's going to answer the question I want. Okay, so we can see that the first one is 1.5. The second one is 4.0. Let's make these all the same. I think here's our problem. I think our problem is that we're making the slopes all different. Because the slopes are all different, it's making it complicated. How does this work? We're going to use one slope. All of the numbers should be exactly the same. Wait, what? Oh my god, that looks perfect. This one's not so perfect. It's pretty close. I can make it work. But like that's math. Damn. So wait, whoa. Okay, so 1.15. Okay, so all these are the same. So is this a problem with order of operations? Is this a case where I spawn a tile in and the settings aren't applying until the next frame? So it's picking up the wrong information, and because it's picking up the wrong information, everything is compounding and looking worse and worse. Oh my god, that's awful. Okay, I think I get it. My problem lies around, I decided to try and make this multiplayer supportive. And so basically what that means is when this value changes for the slope, and the slope is this thing. Where are we? So we get our tile, and we change our slope. It's done on rep notify, which basically means when a client comes into range, it will set it. Problem is that when this is happening, I don't think it's had time to run through the logic, because it spawns in, and then I think the next frame that happens. But when we're checking it out here, we're not giving it a next frame. And so I think the scale is just not there. So what if? Let's test our thought process. We're going to put this back. And what we're going to do is we're going to make it wait a tick, delay until next tick. And so we set the value, we wait a tick, and then we spawn the next chunk. Okay, no, that's looking pretty wrong. Okay. Here's another plan. Let's try a subtle gradient. Every single tile, we're gonna add slope. So we take our previous slope, we then add, we're gonna multiply our chunk. No, that's gonna be a problem, because it's gonna multiply exponentially. Current chunk times maybe like 2, and then we add that. The idea is every chunk we add 2 degrees. And so this is our previous slope, right? Slope, yes. Current chunk. Already got that. We don't actually already got that. Current chunk. And that's going to be our slope. Okay, so we put this... What are we adding? Plus our original slope. Okay. Put that there. Put that into here. So every tile is 2 extra slope. What happened here? What did I just do? Wait a minute. Something's horribly wrong. Let me think. So, take our slope. Our current chunk times 2. Slope should be negative. We added, it goes backwards. This needs to be negative as well. Why is everyone a flat 0? Did I do a times 0? Wait 1 second. Times, wait a minute. Why? Wait a minute. Current chunk. Are we not adding a chunk? That's our, okay, that's our slope. Why is our slope 0? Current chunk. The first one should be 0. Second one should be 2. We got 0 every single time. Are we multiplying something by 0? Current chunk not incrementing? That's our current chunk. Am I not saving? Wait a minute. No? Print it. Okay. Your current chunk. Okay, so the chunk is adding up by 1. This needs to be by 2. Okay, wait a minute. Wait, I see what's happening here. This should be current chunk times 2, -1. We add to the current slope, and then it goes in. Okay. As the angle gets extreme, it looks weird. So, okay, so now we found our... Whoa. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, he's just getting longer and longer. That's how we expect it. That's how it's supposed to work. However, why is this off by just a little bit? Okay, so this is our height calculation. So, another question is, why is our height wrong? So this test is working. I'm gonna put this... We're gonna get rid of our append. We need to understand why the math is wrong. So everything else looks fine. Look at the last slope. We know... Just like, let me double check this. This looks right, right? Current chunk times 2. -1. Slope. Thank you for the head pets, Rupee. So it kind of works, but it's not right. So... I've got to sleep now. Thanks for stopping by, Rupee. I hope you have a good night. It's nice to see you. Have a good rest of stream and don't push your voice much. Thank you. I will try. I don't think it should be too bad. Although I just ran out of my first cup of water. That's okay. We'll make it work. Welcome in, Waffles. This is gonna be kind of a casual stream. We're trying to not go mentally crazy. So, okay. Okay, we're looking at some big maths here. S. Okay. From the right triangle, the vertical component is the opposite side. So S is the tile's total surface length in world units. Multiplies down the hierarchy. One scale unit equals 100 centimeters. I didn't even realize that a unit is 100 centimeters. I forgot that was a thing. $25. Okay, so it's doing the math we did. 25 times 1.02, which is our scale. 25 times 1.02 times 100. But we're not getting a half. Okay. So do we get, if we get rid of this and it becomes 1, this is going to be very wrong. Because we were factoring in half length. So times sin of the angle. So, do we need radians? Take our slope. We're going to put it down here. We take our slope. Raise to radians. And that gives us the radians of our slope. And then we need this calculation, which is basically all of this minus this. Which gives us the scale of the surface. Which I still feel like we need to account for both halves. Because we have two different angles, and so the length is going to be different. What if? No, I can't do that. I was going to say, what if? Wait a minute. What if we cheat? Okay, so here's my thought. We do math, or we just lazy our way through this. Every chunk has points on it. And these points stay relative. So if I rotate, oop, that's not what I wanted. I rotate this. This point is still there. So, what if we cheat? What if we make the game engine do the math? What we do? I clicked out of something I didn't want to click out of. So what if we do? We take our thingy, front point. I mean, this is the best way, but I fell asleep listening to this. Wait, really? Wait, to like me streaming? I'm like going mentally insane right now. Okay, so this is gonna work. We're gonna cheat the math. We're not doing math. Math is for nerds. Take our front point. Then what we do is we do this. Wait a minute. Yes. Wait a minute. I don't have another point yet. Oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do the math weird. We can make this happen though. Your voice describing things, making a game ASMR. Well, I'm glad that it's relaxing. Honestly. So. Okay, so. We need the front point of the current, and we need the back point. Get back. What did I name it? Welcome in, Yuki. Goodbye. Rear point. Get rear point. So, what this allows us to do, we now have a point in space that is the front and a point in space in the back. This is how level generation works in basically every game that spawns tiles. Besides Minecraft, because it's all set in stone. But like Lethal Company, it's just a bunch of points that snap together. Because that is the simplest way to do this. We take our front point. We get our world location. Transform. No, we just need the location. I don't care about the transform. We take our rear point. We get the world transform. There's a pattern. Now, we don't want the transform. I just want the location. Location. I don't need rotations. I just need a place. So, we take that. We take our front point, back point, front point. It's going to be relative to each other. And the math doesn't matter, but one of them I have to invert. So we take this. We subtract the other one. I think we want the next point, because then we don't have to subtract things and make it negative. And so what this does, it tells us the delta between points. And that, fuck, is that going to even be the correct math? That tells us... That tells us the distance between the two. I'm just trying to... Okay. We have our two planes. God, these are... I can't... No. Not the only thing going wrong. Okay. Take our square. We have our point. Let's right here. Then we get our next square. We have a point that's here. And so we're taking this, and we know the distance between these 2 points. So theoretically, doing this math, we can get them to sit perfectly on top of each other. I think that's correct. I think that's all we need to think about. Okay. So, they fit perfectly on top of each other. The only problem with this is I have to spawn the tile and then set the location, because we don't have the second point until after the thing exists. That's okay. It's going to be a little less performant, but we're spawning in a tile. What problem could that cause? My cat's screaming at me. Okay, so we set our child actor. And then we set our slope. And we add it. So this is all that what needs to happen before we do this. Then we do our math. God, this is what do I even call it? Tile alignment. That sounds nice. This tells us where it needs to go. Then we take our child. We're gonna go set world location. Set relative offset. Set relative offset. Set offset. Local offset? Ad hoc set? So the problem that I'm gonna have to account for, but I think it should be okay, is that every single tile is going to need to be incremented, which we've already done the math for. I think this is our math. Chunk, distance scale, current chunk. There we go. Yeah. So this is our X offset. We just take that. So now every tile should be spawned in the correct location. Then we take our delta Z. What happens? We split this. What if? What if? What if? What if we just slap it together? What would happen? What if I just don't want to think about it? Something went wrong. We only get 2? Wait, we only got... Okay, we got a crash. Okay, we got a none value. What did I just try to access that I shouldn't have? What did I get a none value from? Access none trying to read property. Not a new class. Add actor world offset. How do we get a none value? Oh, I understand. Okay. Because it starts at 0, I need to increment these all by at least -1, but because we're now putting this in after we've added 1, this needs to be -2 to get the last tile, and this needs to be -1 to get our current tile. That is what happened. Why did the first one spawn, though? We get an error. That's a good sign. Wait a minute. Whoa. Look at that. Oh my god. It's lined up. I don't know what happened to the other 9. But that's a problem for late. Oh, I didn't spawn them. There's no shot this just works with no math, right? What happened here? Okay. There's something horribly wrong here. Something has gone very, very wrong. But what? What? How? This is incredible. This is art. Okay, let's use a little math. Delta X. This should at least make it spawn in the right spot, right? F7. Okay, they are spawning in the correct location. That is an improvement. Now the question is, why did it work the first time? And why is it no longer working? What happened? The only thing we changed was that X value. Delta between points. Do we need to invert these? What happens if we invert these? I don't want to do the math. Math is hard. Oh my god, I did the math backwards and it's perfect. That's insane. Okay, look at that. Oh my god. That's beautiful. That's exactly what we needed. And what's perfect about this is when I play it, I can experience exactly what I want to do right now. Oh crap, never mind. I was gonna say I could fall off the map. However, it's quite the shame that I've put in a different thing that prevented it. Okay, so we can probably get rid of this. Let's just move it to the side. Everything looks fine, right? Look at that. Okay. It's not perfect. There's a little spacing. However, I'm happy that I had to do no math. And now it's very broken. But I mean, it looks weird. What happened there? Wait a minute. Something's wrong here. Let's eject. What happened here? So this tile is vertical and this tile's backwards? Oh, wait a minute. It's still lined up though. Oh my god, that's incredible. The lines on the road are a little wrong, but that's what the artist is for. He gets to fix that. And I don't want to think about it. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. Now that we fixed that, now what we need to do is put our random offsets again. And where did my thing go for that? I thought I had... Here it is. It goes here. I cannot believe it was as easy as that. What happens if I put the X in? I get that weird alignment thing again? No. I don't have to do any math? That's incredible. Why do people do math? Well, you could have other smarter people do the math for you. Okay. Put that in there. We make this calculation. We just get rid of it. Look at that. No math here. We don't need math. We have a game engine. Final alignment. God, this looks terrible. Can I make this look nicer? Do I want to make it look nicer? I mean, it works. Yeah, so now we're making our tiles. It makes our map. Does it look correct? We don't even need to fix this. This doesn't even get used anymore. This is amazing. Check this out. I take this entire area. And we just move it off. We don't need it. Oop, I didn't select it. All of this. All of that. And we just get rid of it. Every little piece. It looks so much better. This made me cry. Big sad. We're gonna never look at this again, but he's gonna haunt our dreams. So we're gonna put him down here. He's gonna always exist, but he doesn't run. Actually, before things crash, save all. We should save this. Where is it? Tools, view changes. And what we're going to do, we're going to submit this. We made map generation work. Cool. We've now saved that somewhere else, not on my computer. Now, if something dies, this file gets corrupted, my computer explodes, I should be able to get this back without having to think about it again. I still can't believe that the answer was just cheating. Okay. That's kind of nice. The sidewalks are a little curved. Maybe I should do something about that, but like... That's fine. I should look, it's been a while, what I'm supposed to actually be putting into this game. Level spawner. Should I make... Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna make it just infinitely spawn tiles. We have a turret chunk, we have a max chunk. Is max chunk being used? We should. I thought is maybe I should make the world move. Not move, but like maybe I should make it so that we don't run out of road. And I can tell I was already thinking about this because I have a reference to the player. As long as I have a reference to the player, we can do math based on the player. So, a couple different ways I can go about this. What I should probably do is make the player send references to the world. Because I was thinking I could make the world do it. But I don't want the world to have to do a bunch of work. And what I'm trying to explain here is that we don't want to do unnecessary calculations. And if the player already has to calculate where it's at all the time, I can piggyback on that versus the level doesn't need to do any of this math. And so I can reuse the player. So I think my mouse is dying. So what we need to do is in our player, we do tick. We're gonna do tick. I don't like doing tick calculations. Oh God, I forgot I did a lot of tick calculations on this. Wait, I have a speed readout. I'm already looking at location. Velocity. I'm not looking at location. Coyote time, collisions, clamping movement, gravity, physics. I forgot I made the player move custom, like with its own physics. Let's do a function. We're gonna create a function. I guess no, we'll make it in here. So let's do get world location. Get location. Is there just like a standard get location I can get for myself? Get actor location. There we go. And then what we're gonna do, we are moving in the X direction, right? Where's our acceleration? Where's our movement? Apply physics. Velocity. So Y is left and right. So X is forward, Z is up and down. Okay, cool. So we break this off. Actually, recombine. What is it? Clamp to grid? Grid. There's some function for grids. Vector snap to grid. Grid size. Gonna be. Ooh. 1 second. Let's get some values so that when I change things later, it doesn't break. Get actors of class. Get actor of class, and we're gonna grab our level chunk. Level spawner. Get our level spawner. We're gonna say is valid. Make sure that we get one. If it doesn't, we'll print a message. BP underscore player could not find level spawn actor. That way, if this ever occurs, I know where to look. We'll add a delay to not check until the next tick. And then we'll look again. Because we don't want an infinite loop where it checks a bajillion times and then the game locks up. Check out. Let's make this not stick around because we do it every tick. It's going to make a giant list of console writes. So now that we got this value, we're going to promote this to a variable. And this is going to be our BP underscore level spawner. And I realize I need scale, and I don't think this has scale referenced in it, does it? File. No, I think it does. I think we can do this. BB player. get child actor. Get child actor first tile. Why is there a get child component? I think that's what messed me up last time. Get scale. Wait a minute. Something's wrong here. Level chunk. This should have its own variable scale. First tile. Get class. How do I get the cast to BP underscore? No. How did I do this once before? Level spawner. Does this do that? We get the child actor. Then we cast it. Get child actor. And we cast to BP underscore level chunk. And basically we're just saying, I think this is what it's supposed to be. And then again, print BP underscore player. Unable to cast to level chunk. And then we'll just call it there. Get scale. Get our scale value. And we'll promote that to a variable, I guess, for right now. And it's going to be called BP underscore level chunk scale. We'll add another underscore. So now we know the scale of the world. That's a lot of pieces. But now if I change the scale, things don't break. We get this. Scale, and then we multiply that by 100. Because a scale of 25 means it's going to be 25,000. And then we put that to our grid size. And so what that means now is that this should return a value based on the current tile that we're in. So when we move to the first tile, it'll be on 1. Move to the second tile, it will be on 2. So on and so forth. And I don't do any math. Okay. I forgot we're not spawning in the same spot. Do I have a start location? Location. Starting location. Yet? It's starting location minus our actor location. And now we get a relative location because I don't want to make everything centered on the map. Yeah, now it's 0. Now it's going negative. If we go the other direction, what happens? Oh, sick. Okay, so now it works. Now we got that. We now know the chunk that we're in. The grid size is a little weird. I might actually divide it by the grid size. Because I don't want the gross number. 1 second. Right. And so I think that should give me now just a number. Like 1, 2, 3. Cool. Now, every tile we move past We increment that value by 1. We only really need our x value. So we're going to split this, and we're going to make this a value. Promote to variable. This is going to be called world current world tile. Collapse this to a function. It's going to be called get current world tile. And because we save it as a value, what we can do is we can compare, and we can say get the current world tile, and is it different from our last tile? We're going to promote this to a local variable, and we're going to call this b did tile change. And so theoretically what that should do is every time we change tiles, we now have a value that changes as well on the frame that it changes. And so if it changes, then we have a reference to our level spawner. Let's create a function to spawn a tile. We could create a function to move a tile. Let's play with that. Performance wise, you don't want to keep spawning tiles while the game's running, or you're gonna have performance issues after a while. So ideally, we just move existing tiles. So, God, okay. Actually, the level spawning is a lot more simple now that I don't have to do the math. We don't need this anymore. That was our test. It's actually not the worst. Did I do the math on this? Current chunk? Am I using current chunk? I don't think I am. It's just a placeholder, which I could probably get rid of because we use the array length. Current chunk starts at 0, right? Let's see if I can just use the array length. Maybe. Let's see. Let me double check. I don't have any references that use this, right? Find references. Get current chunk. Wait a minute. Okay. I use it once. What is this? So we're doing the, okay, so we take our level chunk to design the noise. We know, wait a minute. No, this is even better. Okay. Take our chunk array and our length. Current chunk, it needs to be -1 to get the same value that current chunk should be. That should work, right? When we start this, nothing breaks. Everything looks good. Cool. Okay, so now we can get rid of this. We're gonna do the same thing here. I don't want this variable to exist if it doesn't need to. Then everything looks fine. Cool. Um, Actually, I already have a function call for this. So all I need to do is no, okay, because that spawns a chunk, but I need to reuse the chunks, and that's gonna be special logic. So we'll create a new function. Create event. That's not what I wanted. Custom event. Custom event. This is gonna be called reuse chunk. So what reuse chunk is going to do is it's going to create one. And so instead of creating, what we do is we spawn, no. We take our math that we've already done, and we move the first tile using the math that spawns the other tiles. So, this is going to be a little bit confusing. Okay, so we need to take the length of the array, and we take maybe max chunks minus 1. How does the math equate on this? We have max chunks set to 10, and we have a less than that should be 10 chunks, right? 10. It's 11 chunks. Okay. Is it because I already have one? B level spawner. Player start. Oh, because we start with one in the level spawner actor. So, let's just throw math at it. Let's see what happens. We take our chunk array. We need to figure out the last actor in the array without changing the array. I don't know if that's going to be a problem. Because I don't think in Unreal Engine there are the same options that I would have in a standard language where I could shift the entire array. Well, we'll see if we can do this. I don't think it's a problem to put the same tile in the thing twice. So maybe we can get around it. So, max chunks goes up to 10 when we have 11 chunks. So, let's take... There's a 10, but the array starts at 0. So if we take the length of the array minus max chunks, that gives us theoretically the last one. Then we get a copy of that chunk. We have a reference to it. Then we just get the actor? Get... Oh, this is already an actor. Set slope. And we'll take a look and see. We get the slope, and we'll set it with the same math we're using for the other thing. And I'm going to collapse this to a macro, maybe? Yeah, I'll collapse this to a macro. This is going to be calc slope. Thought this would allow me to do that. 1 second. Let me double check how this works. I can have an output of a float, right? Slope. Going to be a float. Yeah, there we go. Put that in there. And so now, whenever we call that, we get our slope value for the next tile. Maybe. I mean, I was getting the length. We have to make the array longer. Okay. Let's do something cursed. We're gonna add the existing aisle item back into the array. So the array gets longer, but we're not theoretically adding tiles. That way when we calculate the slope, we get the right value. Then we set their location. Set world location. What am I doing? We're adding an offset. How does the tile offset work again? Wait 1 second. Take our length. I should comment this. Okay, so we get the scale, front point. Okay, so we get scale, calc scale. And then calc distance between start and end points. And so theoretically, this should just work indefinitely, right? There's nothing fancy here. Except for this one is specifically to a different location. So we need to do the math for the other one, but we could also make this a macro. Is this going anywhere? Oh, no, we don't need scale. We just need the values coming off of scale. 1 second. We need length. We need gat. We need this. God, this is looking pretty bad. What am I missing here? We need this. Okay, so we don't need this. This all is garbage. Our chunk array. Put that here. That gets used for multiple things. We'll keep it here. We'll add another point here just to make this look nicer. Okay. Wait, that simplifies it quite a bit. Then I should collapse it to a function because it would look nicer. However, we just need to find our previous point. No, because before we used... No, we have the newest point. Newest point, oldest point. No, I think this is still valid. I actually don't think I have to change anything. I think I just set the location based on these 2 points because now we added the old point to the end of the array and we're comparing the last point to the point before that. And so I don't think it matters. I think I can just reuse this. Let's go ahead and set offset. Set actor offset. What would happen? What happens when this runs? So I go to BP player, and every single time this happens, we will call our level spawner, get, and then what's the function called? Reuse chunk. And then let's make this function export things I didn't realize it wasn't. Be did tile change. And then we'll also add a value that is going to be current world tile. And I don't think it needs to be a float. So we're going to make it an integer. Because we're not using decimals. There's not really a point. Let's go back out of this to our main page. And then let's do branch. If tile changes, call reuse block. Chunk, whatever I called it. And that should work, right? We'll see. Let's add notes. I don't see anything happening. Print reuse. Actually, we're gonna put this on the chunk. Print reuse chunk called file save all. Let's see. It's not calling. Level spawner. Let's watch this. So did child change is never trocking. Why? Is the current world tile different from the one... Wait a minute. Okay, so that should be... Oh, I didn't wire it up. Well, you know, all the math in the world won't solve you from just not doing the math. Okay, that runs. We got the wrong tile, but I saw something happen. What happened? So, okay, so it moves forward. Wait, what? Wait a minute, what? Whoa. So we're up by 2. Try this again. Well, we are reusing the chunks. I just don't know where they're going. Okay, something's happening here. Welcome in, Captain. Long time no see. We're playing Dead by Daylight for the first time in a while. I hope it went well. Add actor wall. Wait, 1 second. Access none trying to read a property. What? +1? Welcome in. Are you excited for the new killer? Also, let me... Okay. Why is this happening? So... we spawn... our first thing. Our first tile. We add that to the chunk array. This chunk array is now... has a single entry in it. It has an entry number 0. We set a slope to it. Then we run through this and we generate we want 10 max chunks, but we're doing a less than, which removes 1 because we're not doing less than equal. And we take the length of the array minus 1 to get our current value. So this should mean we get 10, right? And we have a 0 to 10 though. Wait 1 second. What is happening? Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Getting back into it. Definitely looking forward to Jason. The power seems like it should be fun. Ooh, are you going to be playing killer? It's kind of interesting. I feel like a lot of the killers lately have followed a pattern of like a not super overpowered range attack and then like a standard 115 killer. So let's see, what was the last couple? Because Jason has the range attack. Springtrap has the range attack. Man, it's been a while. Wait, what killers are on Dead by Daylight? CBD killers. Where's the good wiki? Okay, so we've got Crossu. Crossu also has a ranged attack, kind of, but we're gonna let that one slide. The Ghoul is just kind of Legion. He kind of gets the free hit. Houndmaster, kind of. That's kind of a stretch too. It's kind of a ranged attack. He's a minion. Dark Lord has a ranged attack. He's got his fire attack. The Lich has a ranged attack. He's got his little is shooting the souls of the damned. The Unknown has the fire axe. Chucky does not. He's just fast. And then Xenomorph has a tail. Singularity kind of. He's got the weird blob thing. It's not really does damage though. And then Skull Merchant doesn't. And at this point, like now these characters don't. Besides Bird and Cenobite. We don't talk about Cenobite. We don't have licensing, do we? Well, about what killers? I haven't played Dead by Daylight in a while. It's been like... I think it's been about a month since I last played it. And even then, I think I only played it for stream for like an hour or two. I've been in a weird mood where I've just kind of wanted to do project work. Yeah, range attack and movement ability is a pretty safe combo. It's kind of nice though. I feel like as a killer, I feel like I prefer killers that have some basic range attack because it stops a lot of the common frustrations as a killer. Like if you're playing against someone who is like actually just really good at the game, having a ranged attack is the difference between them being able to teabag you and them taking a free hit. Like most of the time, I know sometimes the range attacks can be really strong too. Like Xeno, if you can get good with it, you can get some really nasty hits through things. Like people can basically think they're completely free, but you can just get that free hit. Although Xeno has the cooldown on it, which is a little bit rough, where the turrets pull them out. So okay, so back to this. Um, but yeah, so I'm surprised to see you get back into it. What kind of brought you back to Dead by Daylight? I saw you playing Siege for a while, and I saw you on Call of Duty for a bit. I haven't played Siege in a hot minute either. Okay, so what math isn't mathing? Let's do a quick thing. We're not going to do this, and instead we're just going to figure out what numbers we're working with. And so we're gonna take our max chunks, and then we're gonna get. Wait, we already know the max chunks. That doesn't matter. Let's grab our length. Length. That's all I need to know. So we hit the first thing. We have a length of 11. Hit the second one, length of 11. So max chunks minus plus 1. That should be correct. It should do exactly what we need it to. However, we're skipping the first tile. Is it a math problem? No, because I'm not. Wait a minute, okay. Jason, and we have a really fun charity tournament in a couple weeks. Wait, that's so cool. Are you going in with like a couple of friends, and is it like a classic tournament where you have like a full team of 4 or 5 people, and then you're going against the other teams, or like how does that gonna work? Okay, so also don't let me hold you up if you need to go to bed. I realize it is kind of late. I'm pretty sure you're in the US. So the max chunks. We have 11 chunks. Why is the first one not counting? Is it because we added one? No, we haven't added one at this point. Do we skip the first one? Teams with random perks and points for normal stuff and using perks. Okay, that'll be kind of nice. I saw a tournament that was like a YouTuber tournament, and there was a bunch of people that really didn't play Dead by Daylight. Like most of the people in the tournament have like 200 hours. And for some reason, they brought in one guy that just had like 2,000 hours in the game. And would you know it, in the final rounds, the team with the person with 2,000 hours in the game basically hard carried their team to the finals. And it was like the closest game at the end. I was so upset because every time I saw a game with that one person in it, I already knew what was going to happen because Dead by Daylight is very unbalanced against someone that actually knows what they're doing. Oh, yeah, I have to get going. Best of luck with the rest of the stream and have a great night. Thanks for stopping by. Honestly, we should play Dead by Daylight again sometime. And have a good night. Yeah, what was I doing? Okay, so why is our chunks wrong? When we checked the length, we had 11, which means 12. We have 12 tiles. Which means... Am I doing something wrong on this side? So we add our tile. Was it working? Okay, so if I do 12, the first two worked, right? So we go to the first tile, it disappears, right? And then he's vanished. He's gone from the world. Second one vanishes from the world. Okay, so that's not working. Let's do 11. And that should get us 0. So that spawns, but it's spaced out by 1. How does that work? Is it because it already has an offset? Okay, so it's definitely because there's already an offset. It's because we've added a world offset twice. Can we do set location? Set relative? Relative location? Set actor relative location? We're gonna make a transform. Why did I... Wait a minute. Make transform. There we go. Not transform. Make location? Make a vector? Make vector. There we go. I'm tired of sending a bunch of green strings across the stream. Okay, so we make a vector. Then... Go out. Does that put him in the right spot? But we are still... There's still an extra. What is happening here? So... We have... Is it because the level spawner has a first tile that doesn't count as a level chunk? What's happening? What if we just ignore the first... What if we leave the first tile? What if we're lazy? What if? How? Okay, wait, hear me out. What's the thing? There's like a do once function. No, that's not what... is there like a reverse do once? Here's my thought. We just don't do anything on the first one, and then all of our problems go away, and we just act like the first tile doesn't exist. I could also just spawn the first tile in and not make it part of the actor. Honestly, maybe I'll do it that way. Set actor, okay. What if we try that? We're gonna do this. We're gonna go here, and we're gonna see what happens when we, instead of making the first tile part of the thing, we create a new one, and it's gonna be 0, 0, so we don't have to move it. It's gonna be a level chunk. I don't think we need to cast to it. We do need to cast, okay. We need to tell it what it is. Then we add it to the array, we set our slope. And then we're going to go down here, we're going to do the same with this too, so we don't have to think about it right now, but we're not going to add it to the array. This one doesn't exist. It's dead to us. There's an error. We're setting a slope, so it needs to be the reference to the class, save all. And then it's broken. That's a good sign. Why did it compile wrong? Oh, okay. That. Wait a minute. No, this is okay. This is okay. What we can do. Get. I know we have an array. It should exist, right? We can just get our array and we can just hope for the best. Get a copy of 0 and we just call that? Does it exist at this point? What happened? So what if we just okay? We set this up anyway. We let him exist. F8. What happened? Why is he over there? We're gonna go back to what we were doing. It just bothers me that I don't know why that first tile is not being referenced properly. Chunk array. At this point, when we start the chunk array, oh, it doesn't load. Could contain it. Can I just like by default set a reference to this first tile? Pile? No. What do we do about that? Flip-flop? No, because flip-flop is a once. I mean, the alternative is we could just make a Boolean. Branch, and then we will have a thing where to variable is going to be called b skip first, and then we'll figure it out later. And if it is true, we set it to false, and then the next time it runs, it'll run normally. I was kind of hoping there was a better way to do that though. So now he doesn't do the first one. Second one goes to the end. Third one disappears forever. Third one teleports to the other side of the map. Okay, so there's something seriously wrong with this logic of where I'm putting these. Where's the next one? Where'd it go? I'm kind of impressed. Where is he disappearing to? Is he out there? Wait a minute, I want to see this. Does he exist? Does he no longer on the map? Oh, I'm impressed. Where'd it go? Okay, so it's something. This math is not mathing. I'm gonna make a note for myself and I'm gonna do this later. That's okay. Yeah. Note to self. Let's move made me cry big sad to the corner. And instead, we're gonna go here and we're gonna say to do fix world location issue, because it's just in the wrong place. We're gonna make this yellow because yellow is a good color to get my attention. I make it orange. No, it's gonna be yellow. So actually, let's go back. What happens if we do the after actor offset. Everyone just was slightly spaced out one extra, right? That's one extra. Why are... It's only doing like every third. Okay, so there's something very wrong with this. This logic is broken. But the thing is, some of it works. Why would some of it work? Because it feels so wrong. Why we do -0? This one's gonna be wrong. This one's also just gonna put things in the wrong place, right? Okay, so I did the same thing, but it delayed it by 1. Okay. I think I'm figuring it out. Wait a minute. Is this causing a problem? Oh my god, it's an order of operations issue, isn't it? Because we got the length of it, and then we add in a record, and then we reference this again, and the length changes. We collapse this to a function. Collapse to a function. This is going to be called recycle chunk logic. So what's happening is the first time we call the function, we have an array of, let's say, 10 instances. Then we add it, and then the next call gets the length, and now it's 11 instances, and now it's referencing a different piece. And that's why it's spaced off by 1. What we need to do is either promote the length to a value that we can reuse, go to local variable, selected chunk, selected length. No, that's not right. I don't like that idea. Selected, here we go. Selected. We are going to reference the chunk we are working with. And then we'll reference that chunk from that point on. We add that chunk to the array. And then we reference that chunk for all future calls. And then we, hopefully that's saved. Yes, okay. Save all. We run it. We go out, and then we cross our fingers. And then nothing happened. Okay. Wait a minute, we got errors? Got none. Oh. You know? That'll do that. Okay. After we tell it what we're saving, then we try it. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh my god, it's working. It's working perfectly. Working exactly as we want it to. Oh my god. That's beautiful. It's doing precisely what it needs to. It's just adding a chunk. What happens when we play this? Do we notice it? I mean, you can see it, but that's also because the map is small. And you can see that world also differs just a little bit. Ooh, I like that. Do we? Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, 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 wow. I like the name. Hello, game developer. Welcome in. Ah, this slightly slanted road has been a long journey. Okay, so what happens? I kind of want. Okay, we're gonna play with the seed a little bit, just as a quick fun thing. We are going to see what happens when we change our seed a little bit, and just to see what the map looks like. Save all. We got a lot steeper angle the first one, but very flat. This looks like a straight line. Okay. What happens if we make the seed bigger? We were at 1, right? Let's do 0.7. That should be more variation, right? Okay. Now we have like a bump. And then like a thing. Honestly, I think I kind of like that it was a little bit differently. But welcome in. I hope your night's going well. I think I liked where it was. I liked that it was just a subtle curve. Let's try 0.25. We're gonna increase it a little bit. I think the breakup is just a little too jarring. You can see it change, and so it changes the flow. Let's do 1.5. Save all. Like same with that one. But if I had it, actually the first tile I think is just not aligned the same way. But the second tile, like you can very slightly tell that it changes, but it's not noticeable. And it gives you this like the road is not flat vibe. I kind of like it. I could have done this so much easier not doing what I've done so far, but like honestly it works. Let's go ahead and let's save this. Let's save everything. Save all, and then let's submit these changes. Submit world tile what would we call this? Level chunk reuse working. Submit. Save? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so we've submitted that. Let's go ahead and build this. Where's packaging tools? Package, 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 package. Where's the package? Build? Build all levels. Seems pretty close. Build and submit. I'm blind. Platform. Package project. And then put it into V1. Let's save our directory so we can get back here. And let's just make sure it works. Okay, packaging complete. I need to set up a game mode, don't I? Level spawner waiting for player reference. Alt F4. Okay. So do I have a game mode? Content, game mode, game session, BP, game session player, controller, on class, BP player. Why did it not spawn? What happens if we run? We'll put a hotkey in here. Escape quick game. Oh, cool. Simulate game. Why is it not loading? Is this all in blueprints? Yes, right now it's all blueprints. If I was doing something a little more, I can't get to my mouse. If I was doing something a little more, what's the term? Like a bigger scope, I would probably use C++. But for this specifically, I wish I could select the window. For this specifically, I just am making a very simple game with a friend. And because it's simple, I'm kind of hoping I can get away without too much advanced logic. Come on, let me click it. Oh, that's good enough. How come this worked but the development or the build didn't? 1 second. What? Oh, cause wait a minute. Okay, so project. What is it? Game maps and modes. Dev level's correct. Game mode should be BP game mode. That's correct. Why does this not spawn a player? Waiting for player reference. There's a thing. Print. Okay, maybe I won't build this quite yet. I need... I've created one multiplayer game, and I think there's some spawn logic that I have to think about. And I could have sworn the game mode should be good enough. Because theoretically, the spawn point exists when the map is spawned. Is there a second spawn point? Player start? No, it's just the one. I don't know. That's a question for later me, I think. I'm gonna set that up. Okay. I'm gonna call it here because I got things working in a better way. I at least got the map generation stuff working. We have slightly different angles of slope. We have the map loading in the correct spot, and the hardest part of all, getting these tiles to align when they're sloped is working flawlessly. We have like infinite movement, so that's important. We just need to figure out why when we spawn in a separate game instance, it's not spawning the player actor. And if I think, wait a minute, what if we just put the logic in? BP game mode, blueprint editor, hit player join player, player controller. There's like events for player joining stuff. And it's been a long time and I forgot all the names. But theoretically, default pawn class is BP player. But we're spawning as a spectator. PP player controller. I don't think this does anything. No. Hmm. You know, God, it's gonna bother me if I don't. Maybe there's something I'm missing. We'll give it like 10 seconds. Hmm. Okay, so it seems like it's an issue with the fact that my player spawn is nested. And it seems like if I just add in a player start like right here. Okay, does this fix the issue? 'Cause I don't think I need to do multiplayer stuff and like actually handle spawning where like when a controller joins, I need to create an actor for it and then grab the controller and tell it to possess the actor. I think I can just I think it should just default and pick up what the game mode tells it. I think what's happening is because it's nested, it doesn't like it. I forgot where the package is. Oh no. Um my brain is turning off. It's too late. Package. I know he's in here somewhere. Platforms package. There it is. Yeah. Yeah, okay. So it doesn't like the nested honor. I could fix that. I should fix that. But that's fine. Okay, that's good enough. We got it working. We got a lot of things working. That is all progress with that. I'm gonna go to bed. Do I know anyone online? Wait a minute. I do. Okay, Ember. Raid a burnt buck. You think it's listening? Oh, he is listening. Oh, heck yeah. God, I love when things work. Okay. I am gonna go to bed. I'm hiding. Oh no. Okay. I'm gonna go to bed. I appreciate you guys for being here. It's kind of just like a quiet time. I've just been kind of in the mood to do projects lately. I hope that you guys have a wonderful night, and I hope to see you guys again. Goodbye.